A terrorist from Ohio was recently forced to answer for his actions when authorities tracked him down before he could carry out his plans to completion. Unfortunately for him, he thought the best route to take in trying to excuse his crimes was to cite his religion in court, and that's about the time the fed-up judge made him wish that he never opened his mouth. According to Mail Online, Terrence J. McNeil is a U.S.-born citizen who lived in Akron, Ohio before he was arrested for pledging allegiance to and ultimately trying to support ISIS. In the end, their wannabe terrorist posted the names and addresses of 100 U.S. military personnel, calling for them to be beheaded in their homes. Although one can only imagine what this man would eventually do, likely one day carrying out an act of violence in the name of ISIS, McNeil was brought into custody. From there, the unapologetic terrorist was officially charged with 3 counts each of solicitation of a crime of violence and threatening military personnel. Unfortunately for him, the Muslim man was most recently sentenced by Judge Dan Polster in an Ohio district court. Shockingly, McNeil decided to erupt into a disturbing Islamic-themed rant, declaring that nothing you did today even matters. Jihad will continue until the day of judgment. He continued, and that's a promise from Allah. It's not going to change. It's not going to stop. Neither of them are. My commission of Allah is not going to stop. So this is meaningless. I'll be rewarded for what I do. You'll be punished for what you do. I'm fine with that. You're fine with that. So we'll wait for the punishment of Allah to afflict you, either by himself or through the hands of the Muslims, and then we'll see, inshallah. Source: The Daily Caller. McNeil was slapped with a whopping 20 years behind bars, but that wasn't all. It seems that after the vile criminal decided to cite Allah while trying to excuse his behavior, the infidel judge before him would soon make him wish that he hadn't. All right, Judge Polster said. Mr. McNeil, while I respect your opinion, I think you have confirmed the wisdom of my 20-year sentence. Just like that, the animal was hauled away to his cage where he's set to spend the next 2 decades mulling over exactly how much Allah cares about him while he's rotting away. As one would imagine, the public is extremely happy with the outcome, but so are other local officials as well. With this sentence, McNeil is being held accountable for disseminating ISIS's violent rhetoric, circulating U.S. military personnel information and explicitly calling for the killing of American service members in their homes and communities, Assistant Attorney General Bunt said after the sentence was handed down. There's no arguing that the religion of Islam has some major flaws, the biggest being its inability to coexist with other religions. Although the left would have you believe that McNeil doesn't represent all Muslims, the fact here is that he does speak for a large percentage of them. Fortunately, this monster was locked away before he could do any real damage, but that doesn't mean that the threat to America is over. We must remain ever vigilant against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. At this point, ignoring the threat will only result in bloodshed. It's time to make sure that all of the McNeils of this country are put in a cage where they belong. Please share the story and tell us what you think by clicking one of the buttons below. We want to hear your voice.